a MySpace page that you can go to. They'll tell you about that. And we're selling their CDs also, so you can buy that. And also, I want to thank Luke's Lobsters and Big Daddy for donating this delicious food that you're all eating, and for our various amazing, amazing New York City board members who are back there serving your drinks tonight, and a lot of them made a lot of the sangria you're drinking, and they're all amazing. And if any of you want to get involved, if you live in New York City and you're interested in being involved with a great organization that helps women artists all over the world, you can come talk to me after or during the event. So enjoy yourselves, enjoy the music, shop a little. We have some really beautiful jewelry and scarves and bags and great things on display. And we're also really lucky because the founder of Nest, the woman who came up with the idea to, you know, help women all over the world and came up with this great micro bartering program, is Rebecca Kuski, and she's here tonight and she's going to say a few words.
Thank you, and thank you all for coming, and thank you, Amy, and the New York City Board. Why don't New York City board members raise their hands, and you guys can look around and see them, and then if you want to talk, you can find them. But thank you, and to Yellow Cake for playing. So a lot of you are kind of new to Nest, I think, and so I'm going to tell a little bit of our story through the story of our women, which is how I like to tell Nest's story. And luckily, I just got back from a trip to Morocco with Amy and many of the other board members of Nest. And so I'm inspired by what we do, and so I'm going to tell Nest's story through the story of the women in Morocco. So one of the cooperatives we work with in Morocco is at the base of the Atlas Mountains, and it's a Berber Muslim town. And so, unlike sort of traditional Muslim societies, which are obviously fairly conservative, this is sort of an extra step. And there's a woman who started a cooperative there named Hyatt, and she's 25. I started Nest at 24. I'm 28 now, and so, you know, young women who organize around their community obviously are sort of my heart, and so I fell in love with her right away. But so Hyatt is from this very traditional community, but she was born into these strange circumstances where her brother was much younger than she was, and so her father had a heart attack when her brother was still quite young, and could no longer run the carpet shop at the base of the mountains where her family's carpet shop was. And so Hyatt got left that carpet shop, which was very sort of strange because women in her community don't often get that kind of opportunity. So she took over the family carpet shop and started going to work, and her parents were really hesitant about it. But all of a sudden the carpet shop started booming and making money, and maybe that was because it was the only carpet shop run by a woman in this town, but it did. And so all of a sudden her father started believing in her and trusting in what she was doing, and so together they formed a cooperative of women in Hyatt's community. Unfortunately, in this community, many of the women are not allowed to leave their homes unless they're going to mosque. So they weave these beautiful carpets in their homes but have nowhere to sell them because they're isolated and they can't go into Fez or Marrakesh or one of the tourist centers to sell to tourists. And so they make these carpets and they can put them in their own homes and sell them to the few tourists that make their way to Midelt, but there's not many of them. And so Hyatt's vision was to be able to take those carpets, and because she was afforded more freedom than most of the women in her community, to travel and sell them and help them find export markets. Something I learned right away when I started I had my master's in social work, and I fell in love with the idea of microlending. I mean, women are encouraged to be invested in their businesses and grow them and to earn a living to feed their families and to support their communities, and that's an awesome model. But Muslim women are not allowed to take interest-bearing loans, and all of microlending, with two exceptions now, Nest and National Geographic has an interest-free version, charge really high interest rates, and that makes sense as an organization because you take those interest rates and you plug them into loans to new women. But for Muslim women, they were excluded from that form of social economic development, and so I wanted to create a new model that was interest-free. So we gave Hyatt a loan, and she takes that loan and grows her business and helps women in her community sell their carpets, and we accept her carpets as repayment, and that's how she repays her loan. And so all of the loans are interest-free because we then sell those carpets and bags and pillows that she makes to you, and you pay for them, and then we take the money that we're earning from the sale of those products and invest it into new communities. And we call that form of lending, micro bartering, because we're bartering with the women. And it's a really powerful model, not just for Muslim women, it turns out, but for women all over the world. I like interest-free loans too, so it turns out everyone does. And so it's a model that really works. We're now in 8 countries around the world, and we've touched over 500 women. But the way our model works is that you all have to buy product, which is at the table back there. About 75% of our revenue comes from that, and 25% from contributions of people. So the donation you made at the door, and if you'd like to make another tax-deductible donation, you're always welcome to do that. But that's what we do, and I'm happy to talk to you about it more and share more of Hyatt and the other 500 women's stories. But be inspired and go on our website and learn about the women. And this is an awesome model that is working in really profound ways to impact women worldwide. And we're supported by amazing people here in New York City that host events like this and sell product. So get involved, talk to Amy, go to our website, take materials, and shop and eat and drink, and enjoy the band.
That's it.